Hello again and welcome to Tips with Andrew. I am Andrew Sapiano. Thank you so much for joining me on this lovely Wednesday afternoon. Happy hump day. Hope you guys are having an awesome week so far. Hope you're rocking it out, whatever you're doing. I know there's not too much to do, but bear with me a little bit here. Just a quick update. I am just about finished or in the finishing stages of my course that I'm creating, weight loss and how to be better with wellness. If that's something that you're interested in joining or getting early bird access to, or putting some of your touches on the final tidbits of it, just drop me a comment, send me a message, and we'll get you rocking and rolling. That's sort of what I wanted to come on today and talk about. Actually, not really. But yesterday we talked about a morning routine, how to make the best out of your morning, how to start your day off for success. Today, I want to talk about the other end of that spectrum in the evening. The evening time is supposed to be the time where you're done work, you come home, you relax on the couch, just kick back, Netflix, chill, a whole bunch of stuff that just sounds awesome. Until you actually get home. And then you realize that there's more to do at home than you did at work. And you're working more at home than you did at work. And something's not right here. You're going to work to get a break. That's not the way it's supposed to be. But it is what it is. And that's the way that it works more often than not. When you get home, there is a lot to get done. But that can lead to overwhelm. It can lead to you staying up late at night, stressing, not really sleeping properly, all that stuff that's not good for you. And that's where I wanted to come in, give some tips that help me sort of wind down at the end of the day. My sort of evening routine, if you will. It helps prepare me for the next day. And I want to share it with you. Hopefully it helps. And let's get started. So tip number one is to start where you are. Take inventory, write down, jot down where you are right now, what you're doing, what your routine is. Really look at it, really give it like that, second over. Make sure that you are accounting for everything that you need to do, kids' lunches, sleep, cleaning, dishes, dinner's definitely one of them that that you have to set up for, shower, brushing your teeth, getting ready for bed, all that stuff that needs to get done. So you have to understand what needs to be done right away, and then start with that, with where you are, what you're doing already. Realize what you're doing. Maybe some of it's working, maybe some of it's not. You don't know until you really take inventory of what you're doing and what's happening in your life right now. A lot of the stuff that you're doing right now could be very beneficial for you, but you just don't know because it's caught up in the overwhelm of everything else that's going on. So take inventory of what you're doing, what needs to be done, what you would like to get done, and then sort of mesh it all together, create a schedule, create a plan. That's really the best thing that you could do, is just kind of tackle everything that you need to do in little chunks, because you're not going to get everything done all at once. Number two is to lay your clothes out the night before for the morning ahead. For me, that helps me. Tina loves doing that too. That's something that helps us more than anything. Laying your clothes out the night before is just one less thing to do in the morning. It makes your morning so much easier, so much less stressful. Just one less thing to do in the morning when you really are super groggy and you're not really yourself until like lunchtime. Let's get real here. But laying your clothes up the night before, it allows you to take inventory of what kind of clothes you have, what you want to wear, what you're looking at wearing, and then that way at nighttime you can kind of figure out what you want to do for the next day. You can figure out your outfit. Whereas in the morning, if you're trying to figure out your outfit on top of everything else that you have going on, it's just one more thing piled onto the laundry list of stuff that needs to get done in the morning that you may or may not be neglecting. That's stuff where you want to try and make your life as easy as possible. And, laying your clothes out the night before, I mean, your mom did it for you when you were a kid. And it's something that we have lost as we've become adults, because, I'm an adult. That was something that I did when I was a kid. No way, screw that. But for me, Tina loves doing that too. For us personally, that helps us a lot. It allows us to just be that much more calm in the morning when we don't have to worry about, what we're wearing. Which leads me into my next tip, meal prepping the night before. That's definitely going to be beneficial. Again, one less thing for you to do in the morning. For us, what we love to do is like a stir fry-ish thing where we just mash a whole bunch of vegetables and some meat on top of on top of a trough of rice, and then just eat that. And then we have that for dinner. We have that for lunch, and then maybe we have that for dinner the next day. But what that does is, again, it's just one less thing that you have to do in the morning, and you're already cooking at night. You have to cook, or you're eating something, I would hope. So if you're already eating and you're already cooking, you might as well just make more for the next day, because that just takes your mind off of one less thing to do in the morning. It gives you that little bit more time in the morning. If you wanted to set your alarm for a little bit later, simply because you don't have that, your clothes are laid out, your lunches are prepped, you have that extra, I don't know, at least 15, 20 minutes more of sleep that you could get. And that's stuff that you're not taking any extra time to do. You're just cooking more than what you're cooking already. So you're already cooking, you're already eating dinner. So you're just adding on, a second serving or something, or a second, maybe doubling the recipe or tripling the recipe if possible. That way you give yourself more food. Meal prepping is a great way to just take your mind off of one less thing to do in the morning. You're already super stressed out in the morning trying to figure out what you actually need to get done versus what you want to get done versus, I need to leave soon for work. And when your lunch is already prepared, that's just that for us, just, it gives us that sort of sigh of relief, that sort of, thank goodness that I'm late already and I don't have to make my lunch, because that would just make me even more later. My next tip is to turn off the electronics roughly an hour before bed. There's UV light or something in your phone, in the TV, in the Xbox, all that stuff that's coming out of your screens into your eyes is not good for you. And it also doesn't allow you to really to wind down and be tired. It actually amps you up and keeps you going. So that's where you want to turn it off. Perhaps a book, maybe some meditation music, some classical music, some sort of wind down music, maybe a podcast or something. Something to take your mind off of, or something to take to replace the electronics. You don't want to be looking at your phone screen. You don't want to be watching TV till the all hours of the night. That's another tip. Make sure your bedroom is for sleeping. You don't want to be watching TV at night, because that also will just keep you up more later than you need to be. And, watching TV is easy, one more episode. All of a sudden it's 11:30. 12 o'clock and you're like, well, this is the season finale, so we might as well. And then all of a sudden, it's 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning. You're like, it's going to be a rough day today. But that's what you do. And you know what? Spend some time, with your thoughts, with yourself, deciding what you want to do, what you want to accomplish, how you're going to organize your life. It's a really great project that you can work on. That's what I like to do. I like to journal my thoughts right at the end of the night, just kind of put it all down on paper. Because I get really caught up in my head. So if I'm really in my head, then I'm not really relaxing too much. So for me, I love writing all this stuff down and then just getting it out of my head, just a little brain dump. My next tip is to shower/bathe at night. If you'd like to take baths, you can definitely take a bath. I know Tina doesn't like to take baths, but that has a lot to do with we live in an apartment. We don't actually have the means to our own bathroom, yada yada, this, that, blah blah. But if you like taking baths, take baths. If you don't like taking baths, take a shower. one thing I read about that is it actually cools your body temperature down. So if you get really hot at night and you're trying to cool down, it actually, you shower, you bathe, even if you're going to plan to shower in the morning, shower at night so that you can, it'll cool your body temperature down. And then that just allows you to go to sleep, or it allows you to be relaxed, easier. I mean, there's nothing worse than trying to sleep and you're sweating, and it's really hot and you're just super irritated and all that stuff that you're like, I'm not even having any of that. I mean, we all know it, trying to sleep when the sun's, when it's plus 45 degrees outside and you're just, every part of you is sticking to you and you're sweating out of places you didn't even know you had places. That's not a very comfortable condition to want to be sleeping in. So as for a shower / a bath, bath with Epsom salts is definitely great for relaxing. That's going to cool your body temperature down and allow you to be in a relaxful state. A relaxing state, sorry, to go to bed, to get yourself wind down to go to bed. And then, my next tip is to journal your thoughts. How about that? I touched on a little bit before. I love journaling my thoughts. Again, I get way too caught up in my head, and there's nothing really. There's a few things worse than trying to sleep when your mind's racing a million miles a minute. I mean, think airplane trips, you're not sleeping the night before because you're just super excited. Your mind's racing, everything's going on. And that's not the type of environment that you want to be in when you're trying to go to sleep, when you're trying to wind down, when you're trying to calm down, get restful, all that stuff. And journaling your thoughts is great because you just brain dump everything. You put it all down on paper. You see what you're actually thinking about and what is actually forefront on your mind versus what you're actually just making up. I find that a lot when I'm writing stuff down. I get way too caught up in my head, and when I write it down, it's not actually that bad. I make it seem like it's so much worse in my head than it actually is. So that's one of the things that's one of my tips for you. You take into consideration that. Definitely journal your thoughts. Get out of your head. Most of the problems that are going on in your life are not that bad when you write them down on paper. When you think about them in your head, when you think about what you're supposed to do, what has to be done, this, that, yada, yada, it definitely appears like a lot more, seems like a lot more, and it can get very intimidating and very overwhelming very fast. So journal your thoughts, write everything down, do sort of like a brain dump, get it all out of your head. And eventually you're going to have nothing left. You know what I mean? Like, you're going to have no thoughts left because you're just throwing it all down on paper. And it's not going to happen overnight. It's going to take a few nights for sure, but you're eventually going to get yourself into your mind into a relaxed state where you're calm right for bed. And then my last tip that helps me more than anything, I love essential oils for this in particular, calming, relaxing. For me, what do I got here? I've got a few blends here, actually. So this one, doTERRA created a blend called Serenity. And this one is great for calming, relaxing, soothing, all sorts of stuff. This is a good one if you wanted to put in your Epsom salts in your bath. I love this one. It's really a lavender with like a chamomile smell. And this one gets used in the diffuser every night almost. I love this one. Put a couple drops on the pillow. This one, actually, if you wanted, drops on the bottom of your feet. If you're familiar at all with reflexology, all of your organs are connected through the bottoms of your feet. So that's a great way to relax your whole body just from the bottoms of your feet. Another oil blend is called Easy Air. I love this one. It is the respiration blend, the respiratory blend, and it's got oils in there like eucalyptus, peppermint, oils like that are meant to open up your airways and allow for clear breathing. I actually like using this one in a roller bottle form, which I do not have around, but I like to roll it on my neck, similar to peppermint, and then just give it a nice massage right there. If you have any of those unpleasant sounds that you make during the night and you don't like that, or it keeps you up, or you're finding you're not breathing very well throughout the night, Easy Air is definitely a blend that I recommend as far as helping to open up the airways, clear out your breathing, just allow you to just be restful. You don't want to be thinking about your breathing while you're trying to sleep. Let's get real here. And then another blend I have here, which is, it's called Balance. And I actually talked about this one yesterday with regards to the morning routine. And I love this one also for the nighttime. And I brought it out for a specific reason. But I love this one also because it's called Balance. So you can just, you can picture what it's used for right from the name, right? If you need some uplifting, you can get Balance. If you're down, you need uplifted. If you're too wound up and you need calming down, you get Balanced right here. But I brought this one out because this is what we like to do with our bottles is we put roller top on there. So this one, I talked before with the Serenity about putting it on the bottoms of your feet. With the roller, you can actually just roll it right on the bottom of your feet right then. And you don't have to worry about anything with regards to the blends because they all come diluted in fractionated coconut oil. All that means is that it just allows for slower absorption and better penetration. And that's one of the best tips that we found out was just putting the roller top right on top of the bottle. And then that way you don't need to worry about mixing it, diluting it, doing all that sort of stuff. You just roll it right on the bottoms of your feet, and it makes it that much easier. And then that way you don't have it on your hands, or you don't have it, you're not wiping the bottom of your feet if you feel like disgusted by that or whatever. Or if you don't like the smell, again, you don't get it on your hand. That is a very beneficial tip that helped us a lot. That's all I got for you for today. Thank you so much for joining me. My super simple tips to make for an easy evening routine. Start where you are. Take inventory of what you're doing now. Lay out your clothes for the next day. Super helpful. Meal prep for the morning. If you're cooking dinner, just cook double servings. It's that easy. Turn off electronics at least an hour before bed. Shower/bathe at night before bed. It'll cool your body temperature down. Journal your thoughts. Don't get too caught up in your head. And then essential oils like Serenity, great for calming, relaxing. Easy Air, great for opening up the airways and allowing for clear breathing. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you got some value out of this. I know I had some fun making it. If you'd like to learn more, or feel free to share this with your friends, a family member, perhaps somebody from your team that you feel needs to hear this. If you'd like to learn more about essential oils or how to get your hands on some of this cool stuff that I'm talking about, or how to get early bird access into my course, definitely drop me a comment, send me a message. We'll get you rocking and rolling. Thank you so much for joining me. I love you guys. I look forward to talking to you again. Bye for now.